It was a long, hot San Diego summer. I just graduated from UC San Diego, 1976. Recession. Couldn't find a job. So I called my dad on the phone, and he told me, hell, son, you sell door to door like I did in my day. You do that, you can do anything. So I answered this ad in the newspaper and went to this job interview in this little room at the Holiday Inn. And there was an old guy with false teeth and this big briefcase. And he lays it on the table, opens it, and reveals these gleaming knives on red felt. Aren't these the most beautiful things you've ever seen? I still get excited when I see them, and I've been at this for 40 years. The old guy was Tom Larkin. Tom was always smiling, had stains on his light blue polyester sports coat. Tom drove a late 60s black convertible cad, lived in a swanky neighborhood in Rancho Bernardo. Tom was no Willie Loman, but he was Dale Carnegie. The man not only believed every sales platitude ever written, but he actually lived them and achieved them. Tom would go out on Christmas Eve, knock on doors until he sold 3 complete knife sets, totaling $3,600, just to prove that it was possible. And he never slowed down. Next evening, I'm sitting in my white 64 Rambler Classic in this old North Park neighborhood, paralyzed. It's a warm San Diego evening in early September, about 6 o'clock. People sitting out on their porches, reading the paper. I get up my nerve. I walk up to the door, and the whole damn script I'd memorized totally escapes me. I'm ready to just go home, but this guy in a white tank top undershirt and his gut hanging out drinking Bergy beer comes up to the screen door, and I hear him say, "Hey, Darcy, we got some salesman here." And she yells back from the kitchen that she filled out some card at the mall promising to get a free cookbook. So we stand on either side of the screen, and he says, "Just leave it on the doorstep, but the TV's on." I don't know what to say, except I can see it's the Rams and the Chargers. So I ask what the score is, and he says, "Well, son, you want to come in and watch a spell if you like? Want a beer?" I said, "Yeah." So he pops a cold one, opens up the screen door, places it in my hand, and Darcy waves in from the kitchen like I'm their neighbor of 20 years. So about the end of the third quarter, Tom and I split a 6-pack together, and Darcy serves us spaghetti on dinner trays, and she tells Dalton she's going to run around the corner, pick up another 6-pack, a Bergy. Well, the Chargers come back on the Rams 35-31, and now it's 9:30. And none of us, including me, could remember why the hell I was here in the first place. Heck, I'd already drunk their beer, eaten their food, and used both their bathrooms. In fact, I was just thinking I'd call it a night and crash right here. And then they remembered the knives. Now, the knives, that was some Jungian collective unconscious memory by me at this point, but they wanted me to show them the knives. So I go back out to my car, get the knife case, get all set up in the kitchen. I go through the entire 1-hour demonstration, and they smile, and they say they've been looking to get some new knives anyway. And by the way, Dalton says, "You guys carry hunting knives? Do we? You're damn right we do. Got our supplementary recreational catalog right here." And so they pitch in for a $1,200 Super Starter knife set, plus $350 for the steak knives, $125 for the hunting knife with the carrying case. And I'm driving home on the freeway thinking I'm in the best goddamn profession in the best goddamn country in the world. So there was this one time when I heard the greatest sales resistance line of my life. I knocked on this apartment door up in Escondido by the beach, and this guy opens the door. And I introduced myself briefly before he even began, and I tried to get my spiel out, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, I don't live here. I'm a burglar." So he runs out past me, gets into his car, and speeds off. That same evening, I knocked on another door, and I was invited in this time. And I entered this large apartment, musky incense burning, lots of reds, oranges, purples, Arabian lamps hanging. Said her name was Giovanna. Had this long, thick black hair and a sarong on, spoke in this husky voice that just made you want to submit instantly. So she serves me this incredible plate of spicy meats and plums and kiwis and lots of red wine, and this polyrhythmic Middle Eastern music's playing, and I've fumbled out something about a boyfriend or husband or something incomprehensible, because at this point, I'd swim the river of ravenous piranha just to lick her toenail. Before I expired a torturous, bloody death. And then she answered back in that husky Lauren Bacall voice. Basically, I'm a kept woman, and the man who keeps me is out of town. Oh, Jesus, I'm thinking. And her bedroom door is slightly open. I can see it, and I know if I go in there that I'll experience the most unspeakable pleasures of my entire life. And I also know that I'll probably never come out again. But then again, it'd probably be worth it. But then again, I'm still a young man. And now she smiles at me. And I'm thinking, oh God, what if she comes over and kisses me? And then she says, my husband's a Navy SEAL. Jesus, I think. I need to go before she comes over and kisses me, and I become a helpless sacrificed lamb, and I leave. Yes, self-preservation over lust. But it wasn't easy. And I finally found a nice office-bound sales job after that. But I'll never regret those experiences. See, my dad was right. If you can sell door to door, you can sell anything. You were selling yourself. You were a participant in your own jazz storytelling solo. You developed a knack behind the knock. You see, in retrospect, I think this was really my American History 101 class. America was built by people like Tom Larkin and youthful naivete, where blind optimism and blind faith joined hands in the dark. And for some brief, bright, shining, serendipitous moment in my young life, I caught glimpses of that original American dream. And you know what, Shavana? I've been back in my dreams.